In this video we will discuss about the basic of file handling in Python. Python supports file handling operations to perform input and output on the files. Different operation can be performed on the files, such as reading from a file and writing data to the file. The files are usually stored on the hard disk, which are open to perform file handling operations. It mainly helps to read and write large amounts of data because it will be difficult to print huge amount of data on the screens. Also, reading large amount of data on the screen will be a difficult task, plus there will be buffering limit for printing the data on the screen. The open method is used to open the file. If we want to do any file handling operation such as reading from a file or writing data to the file, then the file must be opened first. The syntax is open method followed by filename, the mode in parenthesis, where filename represents the complete path or relative path of the location of file on the disk. Mode specifies the type of operation that can be performed once the file is opened. Next we will discuss the modes and details. The different modes that are support for file handling operations are: first is the character R, which represents read operations. It opens an existing file for reading its contents. The file we are trying to open should be present, else an error will be thrown while opening the file. Second is the character W, which represents write operations. It opens an existing file for a write operation. If the file is not present at the location mentioned in the program, then it will create a new file. If the file is present and it contains data, then all of its content will be completely overwritten before writing new data into the file. Third is the character A, which represents append operations. It opens an existing file for append operation. The data is appended into the existing file. The existing data present in the file is not overwritten with new changes. The data is added after the existing data. Other modes are R+. It is used to read and write data into the file using a single mode. W+. It is used to write and read data using a single mode. A+. It is used to append and read data from the file using a single mode. Optionally, we can also specify if the file should be handled in a text mode or a binary mode. This can be added with the read mode or write mode or the append mode. Character T. The default mode is the text mode. Character B. The binary mode can be used to handle images. We need to use these characters in combination with the read, write and append modes. Let's test the basics of file handling using a program. We need to open the file before we can perform any operations on the file. The variable named txt file is used to store the result of file open. Equals the open method with two parameters in parentheses. The first parameter is the file name with name as testfile.txt. The second parameter is the character R, which represents that we are opening the file for read operation. The second parameter can be also written as RT, which represent that we are opening the file for reading in text mode. However, we don't need to specify here as it's a default mode. Commenting the second line and executing the program, we see that an error is thrown as no such file or directory. This means that the file we are trying to open is not present at the same location where the source file is present. We can see that there is no file named testfile.txt is present in this directory. Creating an empty file named testfile.txt in the same directory. Executing the program again. We see that this time there is no error on executing the program. We can also give the complete path where the file is stored on the hard disk. This time adding the complete path where a new text file named testfile1.txt is located. Executing the program again. We see that no error are thrown on executing the program. We can also use an if condition to verify if the file is opened, to execute some statements. A print statement has been added to print output as file exists and opened when the if condition evaluates to be true. When executed, it prints the output as file exists and opened. Also at the end of the program we should always close the open operation using the close method to release the buffer memory. In the next video we will discuss about reading the data from the file once opened.